One of those moments, I was standing in a public speaking training myself 6 years ago, right? And I was standing in front of 11 people sobbing, teardrops on the floor. Those were the transformational moments. These are the moments that we are really, really proud of. And those are the moments we are here for. Rising tide must lift all ships. Because when you start changing, you change not just for yourself, but for every single person that you love. The greatest teachers, they recognize this thing, that the three most dangerous words in English language are, I know that. I know that. Because the moment we say that, we turn off all the switches that can activate learning in our ecosystem. And what I learned from all of my mentors is that they show up, even in the same talk, even in the same workshop, when they show up with the mindset that even if I learn one tiny thing from it, it will be worth it. What I really believe we will be the best in the world at, or at least we should strive for, is to create an ecosystem that can inspire friendships in the context of growth. That's what we're here for. He's somebody who, through his sheer, austerity, through his modality, through his practices of social psychology, of extreme pragmatism, he embodies every modality that he teaches. He's somebody who's been at it. You see, every 6 months he's practicing or he's experimenting with something or the other. He's an inspiration. He's somebody who's brought us all together. He's somebody at the core of his heart is playful, joyful, a good friend. So give it up to the boy wonder we also call Gautam Khetrapal.
Hell is calling, heaven's here. There's nothing left for you to fear. Shake your ass, come over here. Now scream. I'm a burning effigy of everything I used to be.
Hello. Hello. How are you? This is a very special summit, by the way. This is the first time we are getting blessed by one of our mothers. Siddhant's mom is here, one of my co-founders. Auntie, you've nurtured us from the time when we were shameful. So thank you very much. This is really exciting, guys. I got to tell you, I made a little bit of mistake. Normally, I would come, like when the icebreaker is happening, at least see you guys around, have some lunch. But what happened was I was in Latin America, a very different time zone, and to come to Kathmandu was a long flight. So I decided to stop in Barcelona, Spain. It's about 4 hours time difference from Kathmandu. So okay, I spent a week with my bro Vadim at his home, and then we worked really hard. We played video games late at night, and we take a rapé at 1 a.m., meditate, and then play video games again. I'm sleeping at 3 a.m. And normally I'm an early riser. I wake up early in the morning. But I convinced myself, it's 4 hour difference. I'm sleeping in Nepal time zone. I'm going to bed at 11 p.m. It's fine. I come here. I will wake up at 6 a.m. The math was the opposite. So when we were going to bed at 3 a.m., I was going to bed at 7 a.m. Nepal time. So I'm like a zombie here, right? So I need your help. I need some energy. I'm not joking. I know you've had Indian, Nepalese food. So can you guys give me some energy? Can you hold some energy here, huh? Is that a good deal? That was a failed attempt. Can you do that again? Thank you. Okay. This is really, really cool. Okay, how many of you are repeat offenders here? Raise your hands. Okay. Good. How many of you are new here? Yes. Wow. Yes. We'll fix that very soon. No, this is every time I come here, one of my favorite things is to think about who are the tribe members that are coming here first. By the way, speaking of that, is Puneet here? Yes, that's the guy. It's his birthday today. Huh? So when you see him, give him a big hug. This is my favorite presentation. Every time I come here, the only thing I need to do to prepare for this presentation is to flip through my notes of all the messages, most of the messages that you guys have sent, which are meaningful. I just look through the stories and everything that we've spoken about, and that's what I will present here. So it's my favorite presentation. And one of the things, there's this very dear tribe member, we're very close. And we went to our first ever private mastermind that we did in Bali. He said, Gautam, he sent me 2 years ago, he sent me a picture with a quote. He's a very decent, very sweet human being. He's a coach. father of a 10-year-old daughter, like, most loving human being you can meet. Said, Gautam, here's a picture of a quote. I would love for you to one day start LifePlugin gathering with it. I said, okay. I never did. And I was flipping through my notes, so I found that quote. It's a bit silly, but I want to start LifePlugin Summit, okay? You guys ready? Let's see if you like it. So, yeah. Life has been plugged in. No. Vikas, wherever you are, I kept my promise now, okay? He's alive, don't worry. So, the reason is it's kind of funny, right? But it's also kind of true. We all listen to that tiny little, we all have that inner voice. Do you agree? Right? We all kind of, it sparks a little bit every now and then. Sparks a little bit, and we sometimes listen to it. And most of us got here listening to that inner voice. Is that true? No, not this one, not this repeat offender. Not that inner voice. But it's true, right? Part of the work that we're going to do here, is that in the next 3 days, we'll find our center. We'll be present to who we really are, so that we can, the voice, that inner voice, that intuition that points to our true north, that points to who we really are, becomes clearer and clearer. And the voice which, we separated from a voice which is conditioned to, kind of the voice of fear or limitation or of scarcity. Right? So that's kind of the work that we're doing here, part of the work that we're going to do here. Okay? Hopefully we can, we don't have to stuck things up here behind to achieve that. But yeah, that's what we'll try. That's a different kind of workshop, by the way. Very expensive. But that's the kind of work we're going to do here. I wanted to start with this first to honor the promise with Vikas. The other reason is to start the question, why are we here? I'm asking. Why are we here? Get out of our comfort zone. Good. You're a good student, huh? Huh? First bencher, yes. You're the back bencher, I know. What's your answer? Just to find something. What else? Unlearn. To have fun. Security, this person right here, keep an eye on this person. Okay. What else? Travel inwards. Such nice words. Yeah. To explore ourselves. Good. Have fun while doing all of that. That's true. What's your name? Huh? Ravisha. Give a hand. Ravisha. It's true. And this is unique. This is something unique about LifePlugin. And we'll talk about that a little bit. But why are we here? I started with this. With every year, we take like a group of 10 to 15 people and we do like a group coaching program with them. I work one-on-one throughout the year, based on transformational leadership principles. We take them for a different mastermind. We do plant medicine work with them. So it's a very close group. And every time we start that group, it's the one-year program. We'll launch it in November again. Every time we start with a reflection, right? And we did this reflection to reflect on the greatest, most amazing transformational moments of your life, right? So we are all journaling. And before I guide people through this exercise, I was doing this myself, right? And the first time I did it, I was like, most amazing, epic, transformational stories of my life, transformational moments, and I'm writing them. And I finished journaling, and I read through the list. And that was the first time I learned something weird about transformation. That when I had looked about or thought about my transformational moments in life, the big things that would seem to be like big successes. And if you really knew where I came from, like this whole thing is a dream. Like it's a dream that I couldn't even dare to dream. Right? So that's what my life looks like to me. Right? But none of the things that are in my life right now, none of those things go in that list. Not whatever kind of success of the business or whatever the millions of views on the talk or the speaking fee or I was really like never fit in my life. And with Ronan, who you're going to learn soon from in the summit, we did like a 6-month 6-pack abs coaching challenge, and I got into the best shape of my life. And it was not about the pride of my relationship that I'm extremely, extremely proud of. None of that. I looked through the list and I realized these are the results of it. The transformational moments are the quiet ones, are the tough ones. And these are the ones that I saw in my list. These are the ones that I was proud of. These are the moments where, I realized I decided to forgive someone whose pain I was carrying for 18 years. It's another moment where the love of my life, my wife, one day told me of 7 years, that, hey, I think we need to separate. And I had to learn to hold love for her and still let her go. Do both of those things, not one. It was moments like these. It was moments when the company that I so dearly loved, it changed my life. They treated me like their family. I had to leave that company to follow some vague vision that was very uncertain that led me here. And it was not all these amazing speaking engagements that Rahul was talking about. It was one of those moments I was standing in a public speaking training myself 6 years ago, right? And I was standing in front of 11 people sobbing, teardrops on the floor. Those were the transformational moments. These are the moments that we are really, really proud of. And those are the moments we are here for. Because these are the moments, the reason why there's such transformational moments is because they're followed by a decision. Not a desire, but a decision. A decision that burns like fire. We step into that fire willingly to annihilate ourselves, to burn ourselves to ashes and maybe birth something new. That's the power of those transformational moments. So that I want to make it clear that that's what we're here for. We're going to have a lot of fun. That's what we like. That's our uniqueness. Siddhant's mom knows that really well. We're going to have a lot of fun, but that's what we're really here for. Right? We want to give you some transformational moments, and your life will not be different when you go back in the next 3 days. Pretty much the same, right? But what we want to give you is hold a space for you so that there is an opening that you can make a decision. Okay, now things will be different. That's what we're here for. And by the way, we every time, I'm a great marketer, so I know the value of testimonials and case studies, and we've had tons of them. You've seen them on our website. We've had like Emmy-winning writers saying, oh, this experience was redemptive for me. Or like the co-founder of Mind Valley saying, I've been in the industry for 15 years, but this is the most transformational experience ever. Now, we have tons of case studies like that from the experience here. But the case studies and stories that are more meaningful are the ones that come 3 months later, the ones that come 6 months later, 1 year later. Because that's a true mark of how much, it's your commitment to what decisions you made and how it's showing up, how it's manifesting in your life. Right? And I tell this to all the old guys, no. So they send me messages when things like this happen. Right? So I want to share some of them with you. This is Preeti. Last we met was 2019 Shimla. And she told me about this business idea. She's a coach. She was starting up as a coaching business already. And after 3 years, she's running a 6-figure coaching business now. She sent me a message a couple of months ago, made a decision 3 years ago, followed through, sent it to me. This is one of my favorite case studies. This is Abhishek. He was there from the beginning, the first ever LifePlugin Summit. And the first time he came, you could barely recognize him. I'll tell you the story so you don't have to bend your neck over there. Right? He came and he was holding a lot of pain. And when people are holding pain, you don't see the pain in them. What you see is that, this guy is a bit weird. I can't connect with him, because when we're holding pain inside, discomfort inside, it manifests as, social awkwardness, or they're trying to protect themselves. They're trying to run away. And so I barely remember him from 2017 in LifePlugin Summit when we met him. Right? And he made a decision then. I didn't know then. Right? This is the story after 2.5 years of him going through LifePlugin Summits. He came 6 months later, completely transformed his mental health to the point when he came 6 months later in 2018, I didn't recognize him. And he came and then again got inspired to make a different decision. He was a bit obese, not obese, overweight, and made a decision to work on his fitness. 6 months later, comes to LifePlugin Summit again. I don't recognize him again. Comes ripped, like a big muscular dude. It's incredible. Then he comes and, okay, now I want to work on my relationships. Opens his life up for relationships, falls in love. 6 months later comes again, says, okay, that's it. I've been in a business. I don't like this business. I'm suffering. It's causing me some stress. I want to change it. Makes a decision to change his career this time and, moves to Malaysia, starts his dream career. He's very, very happy. That's the reason why he's not here. Very happy about that. Right? So people come here over and over again and make different decisions, and then they follow through. And these are the reason why I'm recommending this or talking about this is because these are the people that we recognize in the tribe. This is the identity of the tribe. This is the kind of people that show up here, whether it's on stage or there. That's what unites us. Everything else will fall off. And by now we got good enough that only these kind of people actually come together. And I want to share some of these stories. By the way, I get a lot of guys from the LifePlugin tribe, they send me their naked pictures, and I quite like it. Is that wrong? Huh? Even they like it, but they send it to me. I'll tell him to send it to you, especially the after, not the before. This Srini, he was he's running his own business now. At the time, he was the CHRO for the biggest independent marketing agency in Asia. And he came, and this is 65 days after LifePlugin Summit. He sends me a picture. I say, Gautam, I lost 10 kilos, and I'm now running a fitness program in my company so that everybody can go through the health and wellness journey. This is another guy. Right? But go on, there's another guy who sent a similar story. Right? And then I come here, every time I see the repeat attendees. There's Mahan here. Mahan, where are you? Where is he? Raise your hand. There he is, wearing sunglasses inside. Yes, that's our guy. Right? He comes here. I say, hey man, did you lose weight? Yeah, I lost weight. He came LifePlugin Summit 6 months ago. I see Shaurya, I see Karwal, I see Arun. People come here every 6 months. They just start losing weight. It's LifePlugin has collectively, I don't know, since the time we started, we've lost thousands of kilos. It's crazy. But you know what's crazier? That we're not a fitness company. We're not a fitness company at all. We will do 1 or 2 health sessions, 3 at this time, because we want to move towards more well-being. But it's not a fitness company at all. And the reason why that happens is it's just one of the indicators of what happens on the external reality when you start working on your internal reality. Our external reality is a mirror. It just reflects and it shows in our body. It's just that. Right? So if you still want to send me some naked pictures, still available, gautam@lifeplugin.com, send them over. I'll save them, and maybe you'll be here in the next 6 months. Right? But I want to make this point very clear, because this is something that starts to happen. What we're here for is to bring ourselves in harmony. And when we bring ourselves in harmony, every single thing in our environment has to come in harmony. And that's the next point. This is one of my favorite quotes. The rising tide must lift all ships. I'm very excited about this. Every single time, I'm very excited, and I'm also very grateful. And I'm also a little bit nervous. It happens every time, because I'm coming here, I'm wearing 3 different hats. I'm playing 3 different roles. I'm coming here as a student. So as a student, I'm really excited. The kind of teachers that we have lined up here, they are freaking phenomenal. All of the people who will be teaching here, they've personally changed my life. And the best part is that they're so fun to hang out with. They make you laugh, they make you think, they make you move internally. They're shifting inside while you experiencing joy. And that's extremely important. And this is one of the core values of LifePlugin. You'll see it every single aspect of this business, every single aspect of this space too. Because it's a big privilege to be able to work on ourselves. And think about this, the fact that we flew to a foreign country, even though it's Nepal, right? We flew to a foreign country, took a weekend off to work on ourselves. It's a privilege that is given to very few. And we must honor it by facing our challenges, overcoming our challenges joyfully. Right? And this is one of the common things. If you don't have this criteria for LifePlugin, it'll be very hard for you to come and teach on stage. If you're not playful, if you can't bring people to the emotion of joy through whatever work you do, you don't have to make them laugh, but you bring them to the emotion of joy, because that's extremely important. So I'm very excited as a student. I'm also here as a teacher. And as a teacher, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful because somehow through my karma, through whatever my life's path, my life challenges, it got me to a place where I can do something, I can experience something, and I can bring it to light, and it can be of service to others. And this has been my greatest honor. And so thank you so much for trusting me with it. And I'm deeply grateful for it. And then I'm also here as a host. Me, Siddhant, and Rahul for this LifePlugin Summit. The 3 of us are the hosts. And as a host, I'm nervous. So the new guys, again, raise your hands. Yeah, you guys are in trouble. Some of you will not survive. Yeah, I know. That's why we have to make you feel comfortable, make you laugh first, so that when we come and shock you, then you don't realize it. But it's true. The work that we'll do here, it's going to be fun. We'll have a time of our lives here, but it's also very serious transformational work. So the reason why it becomes extremely important, what makes me nervous is that there are moments when I know, well, I'll be worried. Because you do this stuff enough times, we know exactly the moments when people will start breaking. We start having napkins ready before you realize it. You do this stuff enough times, we know there's stuff it's so valuable that when you'll be breaking. We also know when you'll start experiencing resistance. We know those points, but we don't know how you will face them. That's what makes me nervous. Right? So my hope is that, the universe rewards bravery. So you guys are here, right? So show up with your bravest self, right? And we'll have a good time. And the biggest gift that we get from it is this quote: the rising tide must lift all ships. Because when you start changing, you change not just for yourself, but for every single person that you love. That's the biggest gift. Every single person that you love. And there's a difference between, when we sometimes that happens where we learn something, we read a book and we get too excited. We read a book and like, guys, I read this book, you have to read this. You must read it. It will change your life. It changed my life. They're talking about these things that you must apply. How many of you have done that? Right? It's beautiful when we want to give other people the same message. Then what happens? Do they read the book? Okay. True. Right? And all the parents here know this. Right? Your children don't do what you tell them to do. They do what you do. And that's another difference here for the LifePlugin tribe identity. People here recognize the difference between personal growth and personal knowledge. Right? That's a big, big difference. And when you start to change, how many of you, I'm pretty sure you've had this experience too, when things actually change for you. People came up to you and say, hey, what changed? Did that happen? And when someone says, hey, what changed? And then you give them the same book recommendation, what do? They read it. They apply it. A lot of them. Right? And that's the way when we make change within ourselves, not just get inspired, you'll get a lot of inspiration here. Right? But you'll also get opportunities to transform. Right? Those opportunities are where you make a decision. And when you do make that decision, just know that you're making it for yourself and every single life that you're about to touch. So are you guys excited? I'm feeling a bit sleepy. How are you guys feeling? Huh? Good? Yeah. Okay, sorry. I should give you a cue. Thank you. Are you guys excited? Okay. Should we start? All right. So, I shared a version of this story last time, so I wouldn't share that, especially because Siddhant's mom is here. We were at Burning Man, a couple of years ago, Vadim and I. And the reason why I want to share this, because every great ecosystem that people are passionate about, people would get tattoos on their body, like almost cult-like Auntie Beaver and Isaac, like that ecosystem. Every single ecosystem that we have that is really, really tribe-centric, they have strong, very strong rituals and rules that are non-negotiable. We went to Burning Man in South Africa. This is 2017, right? It's how many of you know what Burning Man Festival is, by the way? How many of you don't know? Raise your hands. Whoa, okay. So Burning Man Festival is the biggest art festival in the world. They go to the desert, right? They build a whole city from scratch for 7 days. The beautiful art structures and camping facilities, amazing parties, great music for 7 days. And by the end of 7 days, they burn it to the ground. And they leave the desert as if there was nobody there. The biggest one, there's by now 85,000 people go in the US, and they do this ritual. And the money doesn't exist there. It's based on gifting economy, a lot of beautiful rituals and values. Right? We went to South Africa. It's like about 15 to 17,000 people. Now we go there, we arrive in the bus, right? Me and Vadim, our backpacks. We get off the bus with like a bunch of 30, 40 people. And one of the guys comes to us and we got our ticket stamped and everything. We go and we're about to enter the arena. And the guy says, okay, for all the people who are new, you have to ring the virgin bell. And for that, you'll have a drill sergeant coming up. Just hearing that was super weird, right? But Burning Man is weird. Like people are doing all kinds of weird stuff, right? Whatever you can imagine, times that by 100, and it's still more weird than that, right? So it's all kind of weird stuff. So I said, okay, we stand here, we wait for the drill sergeant. So we're like 30 people odd standing, and our drill sergeant comes. He's like a white South African dude, like muscular guy, comes, and he's in character. He's like drill sergeant. He's wearing boots, no pants, a pink bikini, and a Barbie doll hat. And he comes and he's in character, says, everybody get in line. And like, oh, this is interesting. And he's not laughing. He says, get in line. And then we get in line, right? Everybody stands in line. He says, okay, everybody get down on the floor. Now we had just arrived at the desert, right? So we had no idea, right? We were still not fully comfortable yet. We're just landing. We want to know where our tents are and all of those stuff. We had our backpacks on our shoulders. Said, get on the floor. We all fall on the floor. Said, now roll 3 times to the right. We roll 3 times to the right. Said, roll 3 times to the left. Roll 3 times to the left. Said, now, your playa is your friend. The dust will be there everywhere. In your eyes, in your nose, in your ears, in your food, in your clothes. Get used to it. Fall in love with it. Say thank you, ring the virgin bell, and then go inside. And that's how we started. That was our weird ritual in Burning Man. And then we go inside. They have very strong rules. They have a very strong rule that says radical self accountability. Like you have to bring all your stuff that you need in the desert to survive, right? Or you have to have some sort of barter system. It's based on gifting economy, right? So money doesn't exist. You can be the richest guy in the world, right? But when you go there, if you take out the money, people will be pissed, right? And there's another rule that says leave no trace. And they are very serious about it. I'm talking 15 to 17,000 people. Very serious about it. Now imagine, these are 15 to 17,000 people. If you drop something, somebody will call you out on it, right? And it's crazy. There are like 15,000 people doing parties in the middle of the desert, doing all those kinds of, substances. Not me and Vadim, but like those other 15,000 people, right? They're doing all this kind of crazy stuff. And then the desert is clean. And by the time the event ends, it's like the desert was never touched. And you don't realize the value of these rituals and these rules at the beginning, but every single thing that we do is designed so that at some point you become the embodiment of the spirit of LifePlugin. Cool? So you guys interested to know what those rules are? Ready? Okay, I don't hear it. Sorry, what? So the first one is to play the not you game. Right? So the reason why I mentioned this, and you can blame it on me. First one, phones on silent. Let me change the rule. Phones on silent. No, play the not you game. And the reason is because a lot of us, we have a certain kind of personality. We've developed it. A lot of the things that we know, that we like, that we don't like, that we do, that we don't do, are conscious choices. Most of them are not. Most of them are conditioned behaviors that we somehow accidentally adopted. And what we want to do here is we want to stretch your personality as much as we can in different corners, right? And so that it's stretched. Sometimes it'll be beyond your comfort zone. We don't want you to live there all the time. We don't want you to go to a random party outside and when they start playing amplifier, you just start doing this stuff. Maybe not, but we want you to stretch right now. And so that your personality becomes free enough so you can choose how you want to be, right? So play the not you game. What that means is, how many of you are new here? Again, raise your hands. So especially you guys, honestly, how many of you saw people dance here and said, I'm not doing that. You know what to do, right? And thank you for your honesty. Appreciate it. The other people didn't even raise their hands, How many of you thought you arrived and you were a bit, socially nervous? I don't know how to talk to people. I'm a bit nervous. I don't think I will. I will stay in my corner. Honestly, raise your hands so we can see, Can you stand up? The people who raise their hands, can you stand up? Thank you. Good. The old people know this. I do this every time. Can you turn slowly 360 degrees so that everybody can see you? Good. Now, guys, it's your responsibility to make sure that if they are going in the corner, you bring them closer towards you. Thank you. Please have a seat. The other thing is, if you are feeling socially awkward, play the not you game. Push yourself a little bit outside. If it's a boring or an awkward conversation, you can blame it on Gautam. Sorry, I'm normally a bit nervous, but Gautam asked me to do it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll teach you a process of forgiveness. You can forgive me tomorrow about that. All good. Blame it on me, right? But if you tend to feel nervous, socially awkward, go talk to as many people as you can. If you feel like, this dancing is a bit weird, do that more, right? If you feel like you you talk less, then maybe an invitation to talk more. If you tend to speak more, then it's an invitation to talk a bit less, just to see what happens, and do it mindfully. When this happens, there will be a voice screaming in the middle, ah! Whether it's like I don't talk and I have to talk, or I talk a lot, but now I have to listen. There's another voice that comes inside. Is to be mindful, and it doesn't mean for the people who talk a lot to be less talkative. Is to give other people opportunity to speak. Is to ask questions, allow them into this ecosystem. So play the not you game. Anything that you say, oh, I never do that, you do it. Do we have a deal? That was not an excited answer. Do we have a deal? Okay. All right. So the next thing is you dance. Right? So you see, for all the people who, only one person raised their hands. Now, with all honesty, how many of you thought, maybe I will not dance? Raise your hands. One more. 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. And how many people love to dance? You guys don't need to play the not you game there. Right? So it's a trick question. You don't have to play the not you game. But the reason we've been doing this for the last 14 years. We discovered this by accident. And we thought it was just fun. Siddhant. By the way, there are some names I will just name as their first name. And I would just expect you to understand. So just know that. And you'll understand by today and tomorrow why. These are my closest friends. And it's the first core value of LifePlugin. So like Siddhant. I wouldn't say all the time, my co-founder, Siddhant. Vadim, my bro, Ronan, Rahul, Siddharth, Sirat, Ayush, there's a bunch of them, Karval. There's a bunch of people here. We met 14 years ago when we thought we were just having fun. We were just doing these dances. It was super fun, so we decided to continue. What I realized when we started doing LifePlugin, we still wanted to do that, and especially coordinated dances. You could do any random dance too, right? But coordinated dances, because there's special power in that. There's this book called Stealing Fire, written by Stephen Kotler. He talks about the state of flow. Have you guys heard of that book? Really interesting book, by the way. Right? One of the things he talks about in the book is that when any culture, any tribe, when they are engaged in coordinated movements, coordinated dance movements, what happens is that it fosters group flow, a group state of flow, and fosters group altruism. When you're doing dance moves together, you naturally become kind and compassionate to each other, and you don't even realize it. How bizarre is that? Right, so we're going to do this. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to burn some calories, all the carbs that you'll have from all the food that you'll eat here. Enjoy it, right? But know that there's a deeper reason, and it's been very, very central to every time we gather, right? So dancing is very, very important. And we'll have, one of our teachers, she's late. Her flight got delayed. She's going to teach you how to do some dance moves. She's wild, right? She is wild, on fire. Yeah, she's on fire. So she's going to come soon. So she's going to teach you dances. So don't feel worried that, I have to catch up on these dance moves by myself. No, we'll teach you. Okay? The other thing is be on time. Right? It's important for you guys to know. Right? We are running a tight ship here. There's a lot of, buffer and intentional space, unstructured time designed for you where you have integration, you can unwind, all of those things will happen. But still, when it's a difficult thing to run when there's 150 people in the room, right? So we're going to be on time. That's the intention, so that all the experiences that we have intended, we can deliver, okay? And what happens is that you're in a conversation with someone, and they are someone who are talking, and they're talking some deep stuff or just talking. And you hear the sound, hey guys, you have to go back to the conference hall, but you're a very kind person. You don't want to be rude. Right? The person is speaking, you have to give them attention, don't want to be rude. Understand that. So here's what you can do. You're going to be rude. Okay, so you're going to tell them, hey, sorry, I understand, but they're calling. How about we talk on the way back and then we come inside and sit inside. So we take responsibility to bring everybody else in the room. Cool? Yeah? Cool? Okay. Morning activation. Now, for some of you, you think the morning part is optional. Shit. That's way more people than I thought would laugh at this. Okay, it's not. There's I got to tell you, tomorrow, Lucy, she's there. She's our yoga teacher. Vadim and I, we study from her we come for classes and workshops in Barcelona, right? And every time we do a LifePlugin Summit, we get at least 20 requests from yoga teachers that say, hey, I would love to just come and teach at LifePlugin Summit. We have no troubles ever finding a yoga teacher. We got it from Barcelona. She's freaking incredible. Like, her workshops are mind-blowing. She's Indian at heart, just born in this different body. So tomorrow, when the yoga flow that she will do, it's going to be incredible. Do not miss that. That's why we're starting tomorrow a little bit later, just to be a bit kind to you. Start at 8. That mixed reaction, whatever that is, heal it within you so that you're there at 8 a.m. tomorrow. It's going to be really amazing. And then the day after is we have ice bath. Yes, good. How many of you are excited for ice bath? How many of you are terrified of ice bath? Good. I'll talk about that tomorrow. That one we start at 7. And some of you, some of the participants in the past, they say, Gautam, I didn't wake up at 7. I woke up at 7:15, so I decided not to show up. Don't do that. Right? This is going to be an absolutely life-changing experience. I'll tell you the real benefits of it. There's incredible benefits you've read. But I want to tell you the transformative power by willingly exposing ourselves to extreme stress and then finding our calm. What does that do to us? I will talk about that tomorrow. This is a life-changing practice, so do not miss that. Even if you wake up late, if you wake up late, the only thing that it means is that you don't get the preparation time. And Mike is going to facilitate that. So you're just going to suffer more, as you should, because you woke up late. So, but do show up, okay? Do we have a deal? Okay. Sugar cubes. This is one of my favorite. How many of you took the pictures for sugar cubes? Raise your hands. How many of you didn't? Did someone take a picture of you, Polaroid picture? Okay. Is there anyone who didn't? Okay, so you have to find Bhavika. Yeah? Bhavika, at the end, get these pictures. The reason for that is that throughout the summit, I think in the next hour or so, we'll have envelopes with your name on it and your picture on it, and they will be left at the back. And this is something that we discovered 14 years ago. And every single gathering that we would go to, and I've been in event space since like 2008, thankfully. So it's really changed my life. And one of the things that did change my life was every single event, they will have these envelopes with my name on it. And the purpose of this envelope is that if someone has had any, let's say, a pleasant interaction, a sweet thing to say about me, right? Or anything nice, right? And we didn't get a chance to say, or we just want to say it in writing. You just write a little sugar cube, like a little love note. Leave your name underneath, right? Huh? Say that loudly. It can be an anonymous too, yeah. But it's nicer. I found that it's nicer when I know if someone sent something really nice to me, it's nicer for me to know, this is the person who said that to me. If someone say, oh my God, you're so hot, probably not, right? I can take that anonymous. I didn't get that one ever. I wish, So yeah, the reason for it to be not anonymous is you'll see in the next 3 days, you'll become so close. You would want to know. You would want to know what people said to each other about it. And guys, I tell you, I've been carrying these sugar cubes. I've been having them for the last 14 years. I think I've been to maybe 70, 80 different events with sugar cubes. And if my house was on fire, the first thing I get is my passport. And the second thing is my bag of sugar cubes, which goes with me everywhere. When I carry it from one location to the other, I don't even check that bag in. It stays in my backpack. It's one of the most special things that you will carry. It's beautiful. So, in the next 3 days, already starting from the next hour, if any sweet interaction you have with someone, just write them a little sugar cube. Even if it's 2 lines, it's really, really beautiful. Cool? So you'll have that. So the people who didn't take their Polaroid picture, just find Bhavika after this. Don't worry, you'll get one. WhatsApp communication. How many of you are not on the WhatsApp group? The QR code is for you. That's last for 5, 4, 3, gone. Okay, so if you're not on the WhatsApp group, you have the agenda, and there may be some moving pieces. There may be some announcements. There's a lot of the stuff we do, some stuff here, we'll do some stuff outside, right? So a lot of that announcement will happen on WhatsApp, right? So keep an eye there. By the way, it's a strange thing for me to ask you, hey, just keep an eye on your WhatsApp, because one of the things that will happen in this summit is that, and this will be probably one of the first times in your life, and I'm not joking, your phone will serve the purpose it was meant to serve from the beginning. You will barely touch it. You will forget to take pictures even with such amazing time. How many of you have had some of the most amazing conversations, beautiful moments, and you realize, shit, forgot to take the picture? How many of you have had that? This will happen a lot here. That's why we have a really amazing photography team taking pictures of all of you. So don't worry about that, right? This is one of the nice reliefs that you'll get. Pay attention to it. By the end of it, you'll feel much lighter. One of the reasons would be you were just not as engaged, as hooked on something that is so addictive as our smartphones, myself included, right? But so it's a bit strange thing to say that keep an eye on the WhatsApp, right? But every time, right before the session, right before you know that there's next session coming up, just keep an eye there, loving eye there, right? Turn off your notification. You wouldn't need much of that, okay? I'm going to cry next time if I get this kind of response. Okay. So LifePlugin hugs. This is a concept I shamelessly stole from A-Fest. I was at an A-Fest and Mind Valley. How many of you know Mind Valley, by the way? Yeah, it's the company that a lot of my bros, even the girls, I call them bros, they come from. We became really close in Mind Valley. It's the coolest personal growth company on the planet, right? And so they had this event called A-Fest, and one of the teachers on A-Fest said, hey, I know the best way to give a hug, and I want to teach all of you the best way to give a hug, right? And it was so beautiful that we want to, invite you guys to also learn that, right? So I want to teach you how to give the best hug ever, and I need 2 volunteers, new attendees, first-time attendees. Raise your hands. Stand up, come on stage. The first 2 people who can come. Yes, come. You're too late, too polite. Give them a hand. What's your name again? Ravisha. And you are? Anju. Manju. Ravisha and Manju. Okay, so here's how it will work. You'll face each other. Fight a stance. No. No. So face each other, right? And when you look into the other person's eyes, that person's eyes, right? You turn a little bit to the right. You to your right, like just turn your body. You're little. The reason is we will do a heart-to-heart hug, and the heart is slightly on our left, right? So when we go for a hug, we're going towards our right. So same for you. Make sense? Right? Come closer. Give them a hug. Get closer. Give them a hug. Nice hug. Oh, yes. Oh, this is perfect. Right? This is perfect. Great. And you can choose to leave them there, or sometimes. Thank you.
See, heartbeat. I could literally sense a heartbeat.
Right? I know. And come here. Give me a hug too. So we give a hug like that, and you can do 1, 2, 3, and before it gets creepy, if it does get creepy, you leave. Okay, thank you. Come here. And the other thing that you don't do, you give them a hug, and you don't do like a cricket match. Good job. You well played. No, you give them a hug. Thank you very much. Give them a hand. So you stand up, you face the other person heart to heart, right? And hold them, take a breath, and then you leave, very lovingly. One of the things that will happen is that, you will, when you start and it's called heart to heart, it's a bit awkward. You'll get a bit of hug dyslexia. You look at someone and sometimes, don't make too many mistakes, and then give them a hug, say thank you, welcome to LifePlugin, whatever. And what I want you to do is to give 3 people here a hug, okay? So 3 people that you haven't met. Stand up. Now. 1, a minimum 3, okay? We'll play some music, but minimum 3 people, a hug. 1, 2, 3, go. Settle down in 3, 2. Hey. I said settle down, stands up, walks in the back. How do you guys feel? Feels a bit more grounded? Feels a bit more home? Okay, so this is the practice. Anytime you see someone, give them a hug. Okay? And if someone says, hey, hi, how are you? The reaction is, what are you doing? Unless it's religious or really impolite, which I don't think there's any people here. But if it is, then you have to be respectful. Otherwise, no, it's just something we learn. And when we do that, one of the things that we know, it produces oxytocin. Right? It produces feel-good hormones. It produces a sense of connection that we normally can't experience. Right? And one of the things that will happen, and I will talk about that in detail tomorrow, that when we experience love, it has an inherent quality of presence, inherent quality of being centered. And we need that for the next 3 days. Right? We need to give that to others. So take this role very seriously. Cool? So, are there any rules left? Yeah, this one. Very, very simple one. You guys, we wanna honor your time, your trust, your energy that you put here. Right? And we'll do everything we can to honor the trust that you've given us here. But I want you to honor that yourself as well. And the way to do that is that there's a general tendency to go through things passively. We live in that culture almost, right? To go through things passively or say, maybe I go a little bit more. I can, but maybe I won't. Right? And what I urge you to do for the next 3 days is that when you meet your edge, just soften it and just go a step further from it. Play full out. So if there's a dance happening, it's like, maybe I don't feel like moving. I'm a bit tired. Get to the dance, right? If there's audience interaction, right? If I ask you a question, respond. One of the things is, yes, it makes me feel awake because I'm a bit sleepy, right? For your interaction. But the other thing that happens is every single time, whether it's taking notes, raising hands, or reflecting things, sharing things when people would ask you to share, every time you actively participate, here's something that happens. You're sitting in a session and you're learning some stuff, and then I'm asking you to engage, raising your hand, taking a note, whatever. Every time you do that, every single act is a signal to your neurology that, hey, this is something that is important, and you remember it more. Right? So play full out in every single way. Right? Stretch yourself as much as you can. Right? And we'll have a great time here. Cool. Is that a fair deal? Thank you. This side of the audience, thank you. You guys, I'm just gonna stand on this side. Are you guys okay too with this deal? Okay. Learning mindset. This is another thing I want to talk about. How many of you know who this guy is? The guy in the middle. That's it? Okay, so his name is Jack Canfield. So how many of you know the book Chicken Soup for the Soul? Right? The book series, he sold like 500 million copies. He's America's #1 leadership coach. He's 77 years old in this picture. This was taken 4 years ago. We went for a 1 week long ayahuasca retreat in Costa Rica. We had a good time, lying next to each other, vomiting in buckets, crying, and then that was the whole experience. We paid very high ticket for it. And it was his event. He invited the Transformational Leadership Council, the TLC group. That's his mastermind. That one? Yeah. Does anybody else have a doubt that that's me? Okay, yeah, that's me. I grew the beard so I can trick you into thinking I'm wiser now. But that's me. And I go to this TLC group. It's his mastermind. He's created this community of all the greatest teachers in the transformational industry. A lot of them I look up to very, very dearly. Vishen is a part of that mastermind. Eric Edmeades, who's my public speaking coach, is part of that mastermind. Ken Honda, a bunch of really, really big personalities are part of that mastermind. And he's the creator of that mastermind. And we are sitting in that 1 week long ayahuasca retreat. It's his retreat. He's 77 years old, almost retired, at the highest qualification. And during the retreat, in the evening you drink the medicine and have the ceremony and have that emotional healing stuff. But during the day, there are talks and workshops happening. He has no reason to be inside, except when he's teaching. No reason. And when other people are coming and teaching, or maybe half his age, not only is he in the room, he's sitting in the front seat. And not only is he sitting in the front seat, he's also taking notes. And that's one of the mindsets that I learned. I'm deeply grateful to all these teachers that I thankfully learned that from. the greatest teachers are also the greatest students. It's two sides of the same coin. Always. Right? And the greatest teachers, they recognize this thing, that the three most dangerous words in English language are I know that. I know that. Because the moment we say that, we turn off all the switches that can activate learning in our ecosystem. And what I learned from all of my mentors is that they show up, even in the same talk, even in the same workshop, and they show up with the mindset that even if I learn one tiny thing from it, it will be worth it. Right? And as I mentioned this before, the difference between personal growth and personal knowledge, this is the mindset of growth, learning mindset. And what I want to invite you to is to hold that mindset on top of your mind. Because this is not an average conference, by the way. So how many of you are coaches, healers, or CEOs? Raise your hands. Yeah. There's like 35, one third, more than one third of the room. This is not going to be a motivational summit, right? You're going to change your life. You can make a decision, and that's it. You're different. You're a butterfly. No, there won't be kumbaya, hallelujah songs. It won't happen, right? Because the level of sophistication of the people here is very different. The people that are here in this room is very different. Every single person here has their own personal growth practice. More than one third of this room has a practice that they actually teach other people how to lead a better life. The kind of stuff that we need to talk about here is going to be a bit more sophisticated. Do you understand? Right? So what we're going to be talking about is like more sophisticated stuff, and a lot of it will be, you sitting in the driving seat of your own transformation. So this mindset will come very, very handy. Okay? Cool? This is also the reason, like you'll see all the speakers all the teachers at LifePlugin Summit, they'll be sitting in the room too when they're not talking. You'll see that. All of them are sitting here, unless they have to prepare last-minute logistical preparation. The other one, this point I want to make is called embrace struggle. Now, this is Diane. Like I met her October 2022, so about 6 months ago. The teacher who trained me on public speaking, his name is Eric Edmeades. He's one of the best speakers in the world. He's one of my greatest mentors. And 6 months ago, I'm one of his favorite case studies. 6 months ago, he asked me, Gautam, I'm doing this workshop. It's a very high-level workshop. We already introduced it to some of the people from the tribe. Very high-level workshop where he works with you for 5 days straight. It's a $12,000 workshop that he can only take 30 people at a time. It's wild, right? It's life-changing. Like day 1, you're a different person. Day 5, you're a different person. And he asked me to come and, hey, you've done this workshop. You integrate these things well. Why don't you come and coach it with me now? So I went. It was literally a week before last LifePlugin Summit. Couldn't say no. Now, I should not have gone for that summit, for that event, but I couldn't say no, especially if it was very demanding on your time. But I did, and I met Diane there. And she was one of the 13 people I was coaching there. And, as it happens every single day, people go through, there's different things that you teach them, different things that they have to unlearn. Most of public speaking training is unlearning, by the way, right? So different things people have to unlearn, different, emotional fascia that you have to break through so that you can find your self-expression. And she was going through it, and she was struggling quite much. Right? She was a very soft-spoken person, couldn't, work with her voice, couldn't tell her stories really well. And I could see her struggles, and I could see that, hey, if I know what to tell, and this will be different, her performance will be from here, it will be different from here, it will be different. But I also remembered, 6 years ago when I went through that workshop, I struggled the same way. And that struggle was part of the process. Right? It's by the fourth day, by third day, I told her, hey, look, Diane, I know you're struggling, and I can easily ease it. It'll be very different already. I can tell you what your, the hack, not the learning, but the hack to change it. But, I learned that struggle is part of the process. So please struggle. So now she was struggling, and she was pissed. Right? I said, hey, you're struggling. Good job. Talk to you later. So it's like that. But by the fourth day, only in the last moment, I helped her through, and because she had struggled enough, went through her pressure that she needed to come out on the other side. By the time she finished the workshop, she's 55 years old now. fairly successful, I would say, if they're going for a $12,000 5-day workshop, right? 55 years old. She finished the workshop. She said, thank you, Gautam. And by the way, I didn't know for all my life that I was actually funny. I didn't know this part of myself that I can make people laugh, make people move through my own voice. And embracing struggle is a very, very important part. So there will be moments which we already know that, that there will be struggle. But it's, how if you see a caterpillar in a cocoon and you see the butterfly is trying to come out and your heart becomes, poor thing. The butterfly comes out, but it doesn't fly. You need that stress. You need that struggle. There are points in this summit where you will struggle. It's by design. Right? So welcome it, enjoy it. Right? Enjoy the struggle. Cool? Okay. So now, all the rules are done. You've said yes to all of them. You can't go back. You said yes. Now we check in. Okay, now we officially take this moment and say, okay, I've seen all the rules. This is your last chance. One person ran away already. Okay, this is your last chance. If you want to go, you can go. But if you check in, that means you agree to every single thing that we mentioned. And you will show up with all the rules and rituals and you will honor them. Okay? So the check-in process will work like this. And this is something I forget her full name. The teacher we met, Ronan, Kim, the author of Technology of Intentions. Really cool book. If you want to study one book on the remarkable power of intentions, how that is connected to law of attraction, very simple concept, but very clinically explained. It's called Technology of Intentions. And so we'll set the intention here following her methodology. And it's very simple, right? It's 3 things. What we'll do here, I'll give you about a minute or so to think about what your intention is from this summit. Okay? And there's only 3 things that you need to do. First, you will write your intention in a present moment. No, I want to do this later. No. In the present moment. Second, only in positive language. Like, I don't want to meet these kind of people. I just want to meet this. There's no don't, right? You guys understand. Our brain doesn't recognize negation, right? So we'll state our intention in the positive language. Present moment, positive language. The third thing is to focus on the qualities that you can embody, not the outcome. And this is the main juice that I learned from this author, Kim. She says that you focus on not the outcome, but what spiritual qualities that you want to embody. It could be, I want to rest in gratitude. I want to rest in the trust that whatever I need to remember for this presentation, I will remember. That's something I can control, the trust, right? How it goes, how you guys understand it, it's the outcome, right? You understand the concept. What you focus on is the spiritual, or she called it the spiritual qualities. These qualities are allowing, be resting in confidence, gratitude, trust, right? Something that is in absolute control of you, right? So if tomorrow I come up to you and say, hey, what was your intention at this summit? At no point you should say, it wasn't fulfilled because this happened, that happened. You have total accountability to honor that intention. If at some point the intention gets challenged, the way to think about this is that, I want to, for example, my intention would be to rest in the trust that whatever I want to give a message to this audience, it's going to come through me. And if I want to rest in that trust and I'm getting nervous and I can't remember, then I can ask my question. Okay, what qualities do I need to embody so that I can honor my intention? That's the question. Right? And Kim says that when you learn holding the intentions this way, and this is the greatest way you can allow manifestation to happen for you. So instead of saying, I want to have the big house, I want to have this change in my life. She says, no, just think about what is the feeling or the quality that you will have when you have that, and hold that as an intention. So if that house gives me confidence, sense of joy, sense of gratitude, I rest in sense of joy, confidence, and gratitude. Make sense? Okay, so what we'll do is I will give you about, let's say, 2 minutes, right, to set your intention. Okay, is that enough time? Present moment, positive language, focus on the spiritual qualities, not the outcome, just for this exercise, right? And then I'll tell you how to check in. Okay. Everyone checked in? No? Everyone checked in? Officially. So we're starting LifePlugin Summit. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Congratulations. Very good. We're about to start. We're about to shift gears. Okay. So, every time we start the summit, there's this general sense of reflection with all these people who I just call them by their first name. Most of them are here. Ronan and Vadim, we need to take a better picture together at this summit. I was talking with Ayush, one of the guys from our team. We've known each other for like 14 years. It's the 14th year now. Right before the summit, we were downstairs. We have our team office downstairs. We looked at the office. That office was bigger than the hall of the summit that we did like 6 years ago. So when we come here, I'm in awe and deeply grateful for how things are turning up. And, some of the things blows my mind. My self-doubt game is quite strong. That's part of the reason why I got interested in personal growth. So that's my journey. That's my curriculum to work through. So every time this happens, I'm almost in disbelief. Been in existence, let's say, since 2017, so 6th year running. LifePlugin has been featured in 4 books already. It's philosophy. All these big accolades, all of that stuff, which is hard to sometimes to accept. Well, one of them I accept easily. There's this metric of NPS. How many of you know NPS score, Net Promoter Score? After every, it's one of the most common quality metric used across the board, across the world. So, you can look at the NPS score of a particular product and see like how it stands across all the products. You can look at it from a world-class standard to whatever standard. And the question goes very simple. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend someone that you know about this product? Very simple question. Right? And the score ranges from -100 to 100. Right? And LifePlugin Summit ranges from 65 to 75. The last one was 72. To give you some context, iPhone in 2017 was 51. Right? And that's the one I fully accept. That's the one doesn't even surprise me. Right? And it doesn't surprise me that, when it touches some people so deeply that we want to bring the people that we love. Why it doesn't surprise me? Because that's why LifePlugin started. We didn't start as a business. At all. At all. Like I had all these little monkeys that I just keep joking around. There's Rahul, Siddhant, Ayush, all these guys. We met 14 years ago. They're like my bros. They were my team leaders, my mentors, my light of my life. And life happens. We had different paths at some point. And then after 6-7 years of beautiful connection, I was in Malaysia, and then I was moving to Europe, and our paths were different. But our connection was really strong, and all I wanted to do, I was touched by personal growth. That's all. I was touched by it, and all I wanted to do, I wanted to share it with the people that I love. I was doing really well in Mind Valley. I had no plans of leaving. No plans. And I said, hey guys, I want to come together. You know how we have fun. We sometimes have too much fun. Most of it you will not even know. Right? We have too much fun. That's the energy that we have every time we come together, but I want to share the thing that I'm passionate about. How about we come together? That was the spirit of LifePlugin, right? So when this starts to happen at a bigger scale, doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. LifePlugin is built on that foundation. And it's built because every single person here, all these people that I speak on first name, right? They are people who've been in my path for the last 14 years, and they're my closest friends. And LifePlugin is built on the foundation of this premise that I call elevating friendships. That's what it is for. It's these people are very special, and they're volunteering. They're running around. None of them have to. They're all doing fucking amazing in their life professionally. But they would run around. They would serve you water. They would do all this kind of stuff, all because it unites us with us to come together, have a good time, and learn something new. Work on ourselves. That's why we come together. We are always people we are never lying to each other. We hold a mirror in front of you, right? And we'll stand if what you see is ugly. We'll stand still there, but we'll tell you truthfully. We push each other to grow, all the time. And I believe really, like it's the premise behind which that LifePlugin stands is that if every single person in this world has like 3 to 5, close, what I call elevating friends, that push each other to grow, that you can laugh with, that you can be vulnerable with, and that you can be openly biased towards. If every single person has 3 to 5 of those, there is no need for a self-help industry. We can happily shut down our business. Our work is done. That's the foundation on which LifePlugin stands. So when people, I sent an email, and I mentioned in that email about the program of LifePlugin Summit. I forget who the person is. He's sitting in this room. I mentioned that Siddhant will open the playbook of LifePlugin, how we design experience, how we know where you're going to pop, and how do we engineer experiences so you go through an emotional journey, and we know what that journey is and how it can create breakthroughs. We will open the playbook for you, and we'll teach you how to teach, like the way we learned how to teach, and how it can move people through just speaking, by talking, creating workshops, all of that stuff that we know. We'll open it up to you. And one of the customers replied, say, "Hey Gautam, but isn't that too sensitive information? Aren't you worried LifePlugin will get copied?" No. The reason there's enough people some of the people who come to LifePlugin Summit, they've copied the exact website design, the pictures, the copy that I wrote, everything was exactly copied. You can copy everything. But what you can't copy is the foundation of 14 years of friendship, of holding truthfully to someone with love. You can't, right? And I'm very proud of that. And it's one of the biggest privileges of our lives is that we get to create an ecosystem. It got created by accident, huh? Like this wasn't supposed to be a business. It was just supposed to be friends coming together for 3 days. We had a ton of fun, right? But then things happened synchronistically, and then there we were. 6 months later, it blew up. I'll tell you about that on day 3. But this is the essence that can't be copied. What the reason why we're not worried and we want to open up the playbook to you is because the playbook, how you teach, how you design experiences, what it does, it gives you a means to manifest your unique expression in the ways you're doing the work in the world. And there's one group in this world that I believe that, that should be able to magnify their impact is this group. People who are privileged and they're humble enough to work on themselves, right? So, and you will find your unique expression. LifePlugin's unique expression is that it's based on the foundation of elevating friendships. Right, so every single thing that we're doing here, we have amazing case studies. People's life change. Evidence suggests that we are pretty good at creating transformations. We are, right? Well, the proof is there at least. Right, but what I really believe we will be the best in the world at, or at least we should strive for, is to create an ecosystem that can inspire friendships in the context of growth. That's what we're here for. I'll tell you what that means, because friendships in the context of growth is a space where you can manifest elevating friendships. It's because imagine you meet someone in the context of business, right? You meet someone at a business conference, have a great time. 6 months later, you see them again. Hi, how are you? How easy it is to have a conversation around business. Very easy, right? Same thing, you meet someone at a marketing conference, have a great time. 6 months later, you meet them in a coffee. Very easy to talk about marketing. What we are doing here is just creating a context of growth. You will be doing all the work, right? So that when you meet 6 months later, you will be, right now you are still talking about, hi, I'm Ankit, I do this, I'm a serial entrepreneur, I do this kind of stuff. 3 days later, like, hi, I'm Ankit, my spirit animal is this, my energy work happens like that. It will become very normal. 6 months later, you speak to the same person, you will immediately talk about, intuition, personal growth, biohacking, because the context within which the relationship was formed was already set. That's what we're here to do, right? And my hope is that every single person can, at least we can inspire these relationships. You can't engineer them, but you can inspire them. On day 3, I'll tell you how you can inspire them, how you can even think about from a neuro-linguistic programming perspective. Then, hey, how do I have more familiarity with these people? How do I feel more connection and love towards these people? Can be not engineered, but can be inspired. That's the context within which we are there. And my hope is that every single person can find that. Those 3 to 5, just 3 to 5. And every time I share this, with people, like, hey, I hope everybody can find these 3 to 5 elevating friends. In this group, it'll be easy to understand. But normally when I go outside on stage, I talk about this, and people ask me, Gautam, that's a great message. Like, how do I find them? And it's, I'll tell you this, I was young. When I was growing up, my father, when I was born, for the first 6 years, my father was very wealthy, lost his business, and he was struggling financially. And he has an older brother, 18 years older to him, almost like a father figure. And he was helping him out, like take care of him, just being kind, loving. And at one time, he even gave my father his old car to use. I'm like around 10 years old or something, and I wanted something. And it was 10, maybe 12, I don't know. I wanted something that was a bit expensive. And my dad normally, it breaks his heart to ever say that we can't afford it, but probably must have been something super weird or out his reach. He said, no, we can't afford it. And I told him, like, I wish I had an older brother like you. I regret it. Well, I paid my price for it, let's say. But I told him that I wish I had an older brother like you. He said, Gautam, don't wish to have an older brother like me, wish to be an older brother like him. And so the premise here is that when we think about, okay, I'm looking to find those elevating friends, the premise is to be one. How do I be a person that pushes everybody else in this room to grow? How can I allow people to be vulnerable and still hold them in high regard? How can I be playful with them, be positive with them? How can I just show up with love? And that's the premise, right? So that's what we're here for. So I hope you understand that before we kick off LifePlugin Summit. Okay? So my wish for you as we are starting out is that hope you have a lot of fun. Have a good time, laugh a lot, cry a little, break down a little bit. It's fine. Push yourself outside your comfort zone. It's going to be a good time. Okay? Welcome to LifePlugin. Happy healing. Okay? See you guys soon.